perfectly. Oh, right on. Cool. All right. I don't have a.
See if anybody's around for a quick smoke. That's what happens when you have this little ass channel. Hey Joe, how are you? I'm only gonna be here for a few minutes myself. Just I jump on. I guess I try to utilize some of this time and say hi. Wow, the background looks crazy today. Almost like the background smoking by itself. So I just jumped on and see what everybody's doing. Smoke a quick blunt. I gotta eat something, then I might get back on. Who knows? There's no rhyme or reason to how I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna do it when I do it. Yeah, somehow I ended up doing over 5 hours. I didn't set out to do any of that. It just kind of happened naturally, and it was just kind of cool, just talking to people, having fun. I've always been on the other end of it, watching other people have those kind of gatherings, made it talk, and I felt like it was just kind of cool to do. When you should come on live with us as well, when you have time. It's a good way to get to know each other, just talk, and not always. I feel like, especially with what we do on Thursday nights, most of the time I'm just kind of talking at everybody, so it gives me a chance to kind of talk to people and get to them to know me a little bit better, and get to know people a little bit better as well. You know, I don't like that whole echo box thing, not at all. So yeah, like next time like we're on, if you have a little time, let me know and I'll send you a link and you can jump in and we can talk. And you don't have to be seen, like I said, people can do whatever they want to do. You don't have to be seen. You can just use the mic. I could kill us. I just be nice to communicate. And hear other people's thoughts and their process on this stuff too as well. Just so people know that I do, it's not woo. I have beliefs and it's things that have rolled with me for a long time. I don't live by them because I can't prove to anybody else. So I don't make it the forefront of everything that I do. Like I'm trying to prove anything to anybody or run anything in anybody's face. So. But it is cool to have conversations, try to figure some shit out. Still what I'm trying to do. Still trying to get to the truth. It's what it's always been. It's what the mission always will be. Nothing more, nothing less. That's fine. Like I said, it's not a big deal. You can just talk, whatever you want to do. That's the excuse me. There's so many interesting stories out there, and so many genuine stories too. Like people who genuinely have had experiences they want to talk about, not just a bunch of crazy woo over the top science fiction and stuff. The real stuff is what's cool. You don't have to take the stories and run with it and make it so fucking comic booky and science fiction and everything. I think sometimes that people take those simple stories and make them complicated because they're trying to compete with other people's stories. Like the whole keeping up with the Joneses, as they call it. I feel like that's a lot what goes on in the community that people want to have something that's so much more over the top than the person before them or somebody else's story. Again, a perfect example is like Corey Good. Everything with him is just super over the top. David Wilcox, super over the top. What's going on, Lee? Jumped on for a blunt, then I got to jump off, then I might jump back on again. Let me know if you're gonna be around. If you want to jump in, maybe have another conversation. It won't be a 5-hour conversation. That was insane. It really was, but I really can tell you I really enjoyed yesterday. Like that's why it flowed the way it did. Like just to have an opportunity to talk with everybody. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Joe. Like so, like one day when you come on, I like to hear those stories. Again, I don't. I know people think I'm just like all about just discrediting and shooting down people's stories. That's not what it is. By any stretch of the imagination, there's many people's stories that I've embraced, and I said it yesterday. Travis Walton is a perfect example of somebody. I'm not saying that I 100% believe Travis Walton, but I also will tell you because of being around him and talking to him in his presence, he does not come off as somebody who is a liar. He doesn't come off as somebody who's just trying to tell some crazy outlandish stories. He's a man who just really seems like he's strapped into his boots, so to say. Um, and so, in talking to him and spending the time I have talking to him, and I continue to talk to him when I see him, I feel like I get more and more information and hearing it directly from him, and his story has not changed. And I say again, it's not me being an advocate of him, like, oh, Travis Walton is the man. He's also had over 40 years, pretty much, to tell that story. And to, someone after 40 years can also get to keep telling the same story, have it in their head, have it memorized, whatever. So I don't know what to think when it comes to Travis Walton. But like I said, I like the idea there's a possibility that he was kidnapped by aliens or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So it's not just trying to shoot down everybody's stories. I just like to get to the bottom of things. Again, talking to him, I have not gotten a difference of opinion whether or not I haven't really formed 100% opinion what I think about his story and everything. But at the same time, I don't just shoot him down. So there are some things that I'm still trying to get to the bottom of. Some of the things I just know are bullshit. Again, being around him, but then being around others and hearing them speak and sitting down and talking to them and drinking with them and hanging with them and stuff like that. That's where my opinions and stuff come from these people, because just doing the same thing. I like Ben Hansen. Ben Hansen's a cool guy. Whether or not he, there was the whole thing when John D'Souza secretly told me, oh, Ben Hansen wasn't a real G-man, blah, 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 but I am. Okay? So, whatever. But I like Ben's experiences and stuff he does at the conferences. You get to go and skywatch, and he's not really trying to force feed you anything. So, some areas, maybe he's full of shit. Some areas, maybe he's not. I don't know. But that's how you get to the bottom of things. Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Even the vetting thing. Like, how do people really vet somebody? When these people are telling these outrageous stories, the average person doesn't even know where to begin to try to vet them. Like, where do they start? You have some people who are really good researchers and get to the bottom of things and will chase whatever lead they need to, spend whatever money needs to be spent to get the information stuff. Not everybody has those resources and stuff as well, or know how to acquire those resources. So I say when it comes to vetting that, it's easier said than done. I mean, you have a perfect example, David Wilcox, and these guys always talk about vetting people. Everybody vetted it. They don't know how to vet shit. None of them. Jay lied, and none of them. I'll talk about vetting. These motherfuckers couldn't vet anything. So it also depends on your ability to vet stuff. Like, it's a good word, but if they're not really doing it properly, then it's irrelevant. Their idea of vetting is just watching some things and making their stories align. It does feel very weird, like being so quiet and just being myself. I'm used to at least having smoking next to me, talking, some noise coming out. Now it's just me talking to you. Shit, even my vetting process. I mean, I'm sure I could vet people, but how do you vet somebody for some of the shit that they talk about? Like, there's this, they talk about departments and stuff and things that don't exist, supposedly exist, but you can't verify that they exist. So again, how do you really vet that stuff? You might even try to vet somebody by their stories and everything, but even like the stories that some of these people tell, like it's so outlandish, and nothing about these people speak to the stories they tell. They don't seem like hardened people who have served time and fucking chasing aliens around the galaxy and battles and all this type of crazy shit. They're just not. You talk to vets and stuff, and you talk to people who've really gone to war and people who've really spent time doing things like that, and they don't act like these guys. They don't speak like these guys. Most people I know who've gone to war actually don't even like to talk about it. They do not like to talk about that stuff that they've witnessed, what they've experienced, and everything. They're not just free in most cases, just come and talk about it. And if they are, they're apprehensive about talking about it. And it's a healing process. Where with these guys who talk about this shit, they're just talking about shit. It just seems, again, like someone sitting there telling you a story. It's like you're going to watch someone tell you, it's like story time and shit. When you were a kid, they used to take you to story time and someone was reading you a book. That's what it literally feels like with most of these guys. And some of them have military service, some of them have all that. Still doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it's above and beyond that they were just simple people in the military, did simple jobs, which is fine, you know, respect for their service. But all the other crazy shit, come on. Yes, Thursday will still be me and smoking. Like, this is something I'm doing on my own on my downtime. You know, this is my channel. I've had it for a long time. People have asked me why I don't really create content on here. Nothing goes on, and you know, why not just do it? And it's also given me time, like I was saying yesterday, to kind of get to talk to people a little bit more directly. Where Thursdays is kind of more of us just talking. I feel like we talk at you. Where this is a little bit going to be a little bit more interactive. Like I'm trying to pay attention to the chat. I'll send out invites when I'm doing longer streams. Like yesterday's stream was like fucking over 5 hours. So that's what the purpose of this kind of is. Just, you know, my own little thing. I'll do some of this stuff on the other channel as well, but I was, you know, this channel is just right now a lot smaller, and I feel like most of the people who subscribe to this channel are people who actually are interested in what we talk about. So it gives me a little bit of a chance to just be more with you guys. You feel me? What's up, Jonas? Sad. Yeah, because I got to take off in a few minutes. You'll hear an alarm go off, a reminder. And I might jump back on after. It all depends on what I got to do. But yeah, you can still look forward to Thursdays, and I'll be the mix-up conversation with us and stuff. Like I said, with this, I want to do more with sending out links and having people on and having more direct conversations too. Because I mean, even with you out of mind, I mean, you see it a lot sometimes in the conversations we have on Thursdays. You tend to kind of see a little bit more what I talk about and who I am. I feel like this is an opportunity also to let people know a little bit more about who I am, and they can ask me more questions and stuff that I can answer here directly. I don't pay attention to the chat on Thursdays. It's much harder. And why fucking sit there and stare at the screen when I can just send somebody a link and come on, they can be seen or they just talk, whatever. But it didn't have us fucking sit there and try to read 400 conversations. You get lost in these conversations too, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in chat. Like this chat obviously isn't insane because there's 5 people watching. Well, when you get to the point when you have 20 something people or 30 people, whatever, or more or less, it can be kind of confusing to try to keep up with everything. I don't want to create the echo chamber that I feel like we talk about other people. You know, they all have an echo chamber, so I definitely don't want to create that. So this gives me the opportunity to be more one-on-one and personal. Shit, I appreciate you guys, Lee. I appreciate being able to have these conversations. And this also, it helps to clear up all the things that people think about me, or people think they know about me, or how their opinions about what I do or what I feel about all this. It gives people an opportunity to directly ask me questions. Then they don't have to guess. There's no guessing going on. You know exactly where I stand on shit, you know? But that's why I said too, exactly, out of mind. That's why I like it. It's smaller. You know, I don't know how many. I think this thing has 250 people who follow it. Out of that, how many of those people legitimately even have a notification, even know that these videos are going on? So it's mostly people who really follow and I really communicate with. So it's not going to be a bunch of just a fucking the normal kind of anybody in the people in the chat just talking shit and everything, right? It could get to that point, but right now it's just more of a personal thing, and I want to take that opportunity to enjoy it. That's why that conversation flowed so easy. I literally tell you, I had no intentions of doing as long as I did, not at all. I didn't even know I had 5 hours worth of talking to do, but it helped too because there were other people. Like I really enjoyed Keats. Like, you know, Lee, you know, I know you, we've sat down and talked, we hang out and stuff like that. I didn't really know much about Keats, so it gave me an opportunity to really talk to him, and it gave me a great opinion on his beliefs about magic and stuff like that. And it gave me another understanding of, you know, there's different kinds of magic for folks. Oh, really, G? I didn't, Joe, I didn't know that. Yeah, because there really wasn't a lot of content on here. There goes the alarm. All right, I gotta run, folks. But I'm gonna jump back on a little while. Set those notifications. If you're around, jump in. If you maybe want to jump in for a few minutes and have a conversation, I'll send out some links to anybody and we can do a little something. All right, when I come back. But I'll be back. Peace.